Hello everybody, this is part 3 of Consequences for One's Actions. This is going to be a perception change. This is going to be this version's Izuku Midoriya and his crew. The analyst says, "We do not need the heroes to be controlling society. We've had them in control for nearly 100 years, and what has that given us? A crime rate so high, it's considered ridiculous to our neighbors, to the point of insanity. Yes, I have to just say the only thing good about the hero system is a sense of false security. Thanks to the fact that every country on the planet has spewed the same nonsense ever since. And Japan started over 100 years ago. And now we've almost pushed them out of the country. Only Matu Tafu's left." And he hears the crowd of people genuinely agree with him. And he heads back to his personal quarters. And he sees Frostfire, his husband, boyfriend. They haven't actually wedded the knot yet, but it's probably soon. And Frostfire, or what the analyst calls him, Shoto. He says, "Shoto, how was your day?" "Pretty good. Got rid of some of those hero bastards. And saw my bastard Spermdomer." Congratulations. Take him out?" Me and Toya are fighting over who's going to kill him." Personally, I'm sticking to what I promised you both. If you want the analyzation to kill your father, you can, and have it. As much as I love you, Aizu, I want to be able to do things on my own. Because as much as many people are too afraid to speak out, because many people think we're dictators, we're not. We're just people with strong opinions. Izuku says, well, I'm not we're not dictators by the common term. We allow people to say their opinions, unlike the heroes, where basically anything anti-hero is considered a villain. Actions are more valuable than words. And I've heard the stories too. And Shoto says, even though sometimes I kind of wish they were sometimes true. And Izuku Midoriya, or the analyst, blushes like a madman because of what he just said. Because one of the rumors is the fact that Frostfire is the basically sugar baby of the analyst. And Izuku Midoriya goes into his tomato mode, is what Turbo calls it, because Turbo, or Ida Tenya, ever since he left Heroes, has mostly gotten his stick out of his ass. Yes, he personally still has a code of conduct that he sticks to. Every person in the organization does. But Tenya, in one of those rules it says teasing is appropriate for a morale boost. Even though half the time it's just hilarious. But, well, it doesn't get the job done. And the analyst says, And Shoto says, well, anyway. And Shoto's face has a blush. And says, anyway, I presume you want to keep producing Nomu. Yes, and also the fact I've cracked the capability of getting All for One's quirks. Yeah, I forgot. Actually, I didn't forget, it's just kind of funny, really. You did all this. You took over the damn country. Without a damn quirk. Not even one. Out of spite, determination, and enough of anger to kill a god. No. Killing two gods. All Might, All for One. And Shoto and Izuku laugh their butts off. And now with the other members of the league, Uraraka says, or Nebula says, well, it's been easy work today. Turbo says, yeah, it has. Especially thanks to Poison, or formerly Froppy, helping us. And Froppy says, personally, I prefer to still go by Froppy, but it's still too affiliated with my old hero name, even though I barely had it for a week. Eek. And Turbo says, point taken. And Poison says, I'm still never going to get used to that. No offense, Turbo. Well, one thing I've realized is that stick up my ass energy I had can get people killed. Let's just say this. Following the rules may technically be legally right, but morally is unreprehensible. Especially what the Hero Commission did. Just because Nebula says, hey, don't worry. Those bastards are long dead. And we'll make sure they'll be a forgotten memory. And they see people around them saying, woo, Turbo, Nebula, Poison. And after a few hours of fanning, because honestly, even though they're technically villains, most people just consider them just the new heroes of the day, or the more appropriate term, the generals of the new world, or the soldiers of the new world. Because a famous speech from the analyst said, the Hero Commission was not making heroes in a hero school. They were making living soldiers. At least when I call my allies soldiers, I don't blatantly hide it. But I at least give them a lot more respect than the Hero Commission gives heroes. And over time, in this world, the analyst, Izuku Midoriya, took down the world with his own quirkless hands. And the only thing he needed to do is use his mind, hands, and manipulation. Machine capabilities. Using his mind to use the words of charisma to make sure the way he wants the world to be, where the strong ain't kicking down the weak, where people can live equally without needing to worry about a villain attack every 2 hours, where the crime rate is about 50% lower than back in old Japan. And Izuku says, Izuku and Shoto are in swimwear because they're taking a day off at the pool, and says, hopefully those hero bastards are hoping to surrender. Izuku says, you know something funny? Back when I was an idealistic child, and yes, I'm barely a year older, but I can call myself a child when I saw the world such tinted glasses. Shoto says, I have to ask Izu, how bad was it? Burns every day, being called a useless piece of dirt, just because of me having a special toe joint. And you know something funny? You know something bloody hilarious? I honestly think if something happened differently, many things would have been different. What do you mean? If two things happened differently, for example, I'm just going to say this hypothetical. If a hero found me that day instead of All For One, I'd probably be a hero. Shoto says, you a hero? Well, okay, that doesn't sound too far-fetched. Probably more like Stain, if you were a hero. Yeah, you know I never liked killing. It's the entire reason why I flat out forced the doctor to only use animal patients. Animal patients for the Nomu. And also the fact that animals are very much easier to get than human. And also less politically detrimental. And Shoto says, you strategist. And Shoto kisses Izuku on the lips. And Izuku blushes a little, but has gotten used to it, because he has mostly tried to get rid of his nervous tics, thanks to the fact that he needs to portray strength. But he can be weak with Frostfire, or just as Shoto. And Dabi and Toga and Shiggy are watching with the other parts of the crew, Nebula, Turbo, and Poison. And all of them are playing Monopoly. And Uraraka, or Nebula, is kicking everybody's butt. And Shigaraki says, how the bleep are you winning so many times? Simple. I know how to money manage. Shigaraki says, holy fucking Christ. Dabi says, oh God. Okay. I have one railroad about out my little ass in jail. Oh, and, oh, bloody hell. Oh, and everyone else at this point, besides Shiggy, Dabi, and Toga, are out of the game because Uraraka has flat out bought every single property and basically bankrupt everyone else. And Toga says, I have 2 railroad. Dabi. Yeah? Sell me a railroad. I'll give you enough money to get to the next Pascal. No, it's the only thing making sure I stay alive in this game. No, thank you. And for the next good 2 hours and a half, because even when the board is that covered, it takes hours to win. Uraraka wins because she takes out Toga and Dabi, and let's just say a Toga, Poison, and Nebula have a 3-way relationship. But they personally just keep it to their bedroom. That's what happens when Toga and Poison drag Uraraka to their bed, to all their 3 bedrooms. Because of the fact that they were playing with real money. Because they're so wealthy at this point, they're a faction times more wealthy than All Might, Endeavor, and the top 100 heroes combined. And in their prime. And Dabi says, one thing that honestly makes a lot of sense and a little sense is how a lot of things changed when that little squirt came in. Shigaraki said, Ed to Dabi. Really? How small was he back in the day? As much as that feels so wrong to say, it feels genuinely correct. Shigaraki says, let's just say this. You wouldn't believe me on how he looked back in the day. You wouldn't. And Dabi says, can you explain? Sure. He was pretty small. Oh, smaller than Toga. I think even smaller than Poison. Really? And a lot less muscular. The only thing he had was his mind and his fucking determination to kill a god. And was capable of doing it twice. And Dabi says, holy cow. Holy cow. Besides that, what is one thing you're surprised about? Shigaraki says is the analyst always keeps his word. Even though sometimes it would be in his benefit to break it. And that is the end of this part. I know this is more a mix of fluff and I don't know the correct term but more or somewhat steamy scenes. More steamy scenes, honestly, I know. But honestly, I just wanted that out there because this is the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. But anyway, please like and subscribe and thank you.